Hey, it's Dr. Shantae, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You have reached part 2 of our mini series about unlearning survival. This is the series about how we come out of survival mode, looking specifically at lies that we have learned through trauma. And the lie that we are addressing today is that if I express my true feelings, people are going to reject me, abandon me, or leave me. In the first part of our series, we talked about how we have to perform and please in order to get love. And today we are talking about revealing our true feelings. Keep watching. So, if you ever grew up feeling like you had to filter yourself, how you had to censor yourself, or maybe you had to hide your true feelings because people would not accept you or people would not allow you to have the full complement of your feelings. You may have grown up hearing things like, shut up before I give you something to cry about, or if you're going to be crying, then get out of my face. I cannot deal with you when you are so upset. And, or, and I want to be fair, we have a lot of gender expectations with respect to the expression of our feelings. Men are not allowed the same complement of human emotions that women are. Women and girls seem to be able to express the full gamut of their feelings and emotions, and men are told not to cry, suck it up, don't be weak, don't be sad. And so you become a version of yourself because you feel like if you allowed your true self, then you would be less than. If you allowed your true self, then you would be rejected. If you allowed your true self, then people would call you a simp or a sucker or weak or too sensitive or overly emotional. And so many of us have experienced these really unfair indictments of our feelings and our emotions. And so we demonized our feelings instead of demonizing the concept and demonizing the lie that we're not allowed to have them. So if you grew up with that construct and you have been in survival mode living a version of yourself, then this episode is absolutely for you. So, how did we get here? When you grow up in an environment or you enter an environment that is not safe, then you learn how to survive. A lot of us grew up in places where we could not be emotionally safe, where we were not accepted for being upset or sad or crying, and in some cases, too happy. What you smiling about? Ain't nothing to be smiling about. Why you going around? What is your problem? It's just like, dang, I can't even smile. I can't even laugh. I can't. And what was accepted was quiet, or it was okay for you to be angry because it showed that you were tough. But when we grow up in those environments, we learn to hide the things that hurt us. We learn to hide the things that bother us. We learn not to express when we're upset because we don't have the language for it. We don't have the vocabulary for it. And when we grow up in those environments, then it stifles us and it carries into adulthood. So think about if you were never allowed to express the full range of your emotions in childhood, and then you go into adulthood not knowing how to be safely angry, not knowing how to cry or to express sadness without feeling like you're going to be judged or indicted for it, then that manifests itself in a lot of unhealthy and sometimes explosive ways. And so, one of the reasons why some people have just these really terrible or violent tempers is because it's the default emotion. It's the one that they know. It's the one that they could go to. It was the one that was the safest to express instead of the one that allowed them to be sad. But here's the thing. When you create this emotional armor, okay, when you create this mask of what you truly feel and who you truly are, there are consequences for that. So it disconnects you from your true self. Okay, you become disconnected from your feelings, so much so that when bad things happen, when people die, or you lose a job, or you get a tough medical diagnosis, or a friend hurts your feelings, you don't even know how to express your feelings about it. You're just like, oh, Like you feel something, but you can't express it, you can't articulate it, you can't name it because you become disconnected from yourself. So that's one. Number two, you become disconnected from true intimacy. It is really hard to be intimate with another person when you don't even know who you are. And intimacy means that you have to allow the other person. You have to allow the other person to be their true selves. And it is hard to achieve intimacy and allow somebody else to be their true selves when you won't even allow yourself to be your true self. And so it becomes very lopsided, or it becomes very uncomfortable, or you become distant because you're like, I don't know how to be this vulnerable. I don't know how to be this close. And even though I might like you and I might love you, it's hard for me to really connect with you because I'm disconnected from myself. And the third part is that when you lock away your true feelings, you are also locking up the opportunity to be truly seen, to be truly known, to be truly accepted, and to be truly loved. So how do we change it? How do we turn the tide? Because something I want to emphasize throughout this series is that the skills that you need to survive are very different than the skills that you need to thrive, because survival comes from a place of lack and scarcity, and thriving comes from a place of abundance. And so those two things cannot coexist. So the first thing that we need to do is to disrupt the lie with the truth. And the truth is that healthy love and healthy relationships allow you to have the full range of your emotions. They don't stuff, they don't stifle, they don't criticize, they don't call you weak or call you simped or call you too sensitive, or you're overreacting or whatever. Healthy love allows you to have all of your feelings. So that is the truth. Another truth is that your feelings are not too much. Your feelings are your feelings. Your feelings are actually symptoms. Okay, so they are the symptoms that of a larger issue, whether it's something happy or it's something sad. They're just pointers, they're indicators. They tell you, hey, something is going on. Something is going on that we really love, or something is going on that is really hurtful. But your feelings are not the enemy. It is not your feelings that are at issue. Your feelings are not the bad guy. Your feelings are a part of who you are, and feelings are a part of a healthy human experience. Another lie is that you're so needy. You're needy. Why are you being needy? Having needs does not make you needy. Everybody has needs, just like we have physical needs. Okay, so sometimes you might need to go to the bathroom. Okay, you might need some fresh air. You might need a drink of water. We have physical needs. It doesn't make us needy. We have safety needs. We need to feel safe in our own homes. We need to be safe going to and from work. That doesn't make us needy. We need to be able to feel safe. And it also means that we have emotional needs. And so I need to be able to sit with my feelings. I need to be able to express my feelings without being judged. I need to be able to express my emotions without being criticized. That doesn't make you needy. It is okay to have emotional needs. Your emotional needs, your mental needs, your psychological needs are just as important as your baseline physical and safety biological needs. That is a fact. That is the truth. And one of the biggest lies that I want to disrupt with respect to your feelings is that vulnerability makes you weak. Baby, do you know how hard it is to be vulnerable? Do you know how hard it is to put your heart on the line? Do you know how hard it is to step into the arena and say, you hurt my feelings? Do you know how hard it is to step into the arena and say, I love you? Do you know how hard it is to say, I have feelings for you and I know that you don't have those feelings for me? Do you, baby, the easy thing, okay, like the quote unquote the weak way out is to be like, what? Yeah, nah, no, it's cool. No, we're good. We're fine. It's no problem. That's the easy way out. Okay. Vulnerability is hard. Okay. Which is why so many people struggle to do it. So anybody telling you that vulnerability makes you a simp is somebody who has no idea what it takes to do that. It's somebody that is regulating their emotions in such a way that they are not even allowing themselves the full compliment, because anybody who has been vulnerable and knows that you can step into that arena and get your butt kicked. Okay, anybody who has put their written work out or their video workout, people produce content, they write things all the time and they get rejected all the time. That takes strength to keep getting knocked down and get back up because you have such belief in your art or you have such belief in yourself. That's really, really hard. And so if you have grown up or been navigating life believing any of these lies, I just armed you with the truth. You are a human being and human beings have emotions, and that is okay. So, because I'm a life coach and I always want to give a little bit of homework, time for quiet reflection, feel free to grab a pen, a paper, a journal, a notebook, or even the little notes app on your phone. And I want you to reflect on the following questions. Question number one: when did you learn that sharing your feelings wasn't safe? When did you learn that sharing your feelings wasn't safe? Who taught you that? Where did you learn that? Number two, what emotions are you still hiding today? What emotions are difficult for you to access? What emotions do you not feel safe going there? What emotions are you still struggling to access today? And number three, who in your life has shown you that it is okay to be real, that it is okay to be your full and true self? Even if you choose not to be, you know that this person would not judge you, they would not malign you, they would not drag you, they wouldn't throw it back in your face. So, who in your life has shown you that it is safe to be yourself, and who in your life has shown you that it's not? And it's important to call that out. And it's not about demonizing people. It's just about putting the truth out on paper so that you can see it. And once you have this information out on paper, you get to decide what you want to do with it. So that is where I will leave it for this episode. Please know that the more you allow yourself to be who you really are, the more you express your feelings and your emotion, the greater the capacity for real, solid, healthy human connection. Loneliness is a major issue, and it's not just a male loneliness epidemic in this country, but loneliness is really hard. And part of what creates isolation and part of what creates solitude is the inability to express your feelings. It's the inability to express who you really are. And it disrupts so many things. It just really is the bedrock of intimacy at friendship levels, at romantic relationship levels. Being able to express your feelings in healthy ways is the key to thriving. And we are coming out of surviving. It's okay to come out of survival mode. Only you can determine when you're ready to walk away from that way of life, because there is another way, there is another path. So that is it for our second part of this series. And the third part of this series, we are going to be talking about lie number 3, which is I'm not enough. That's a big one. A lot of people struggle with worthiness and value and enoughness, and that is what we're going to be talking about in the third part of the series. So don't miss it. If you like this content, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with others, and I can't wait to see you in part 3.